He was called Lucifer.
What did they say about the devil?
That killing the people made him happy.
Do you dismiss that as a child's fantasy, or do you take it seriously?
Well, as a policeman and as a father, I obviously take it very seriously. Very seriously indeed.
Crime Intelligence Officer, Sergeant Alan Barwick.
Do you believe Teresa?
Yes, I do.
What would happen to the fetuses, the unborn babies?
They used to be taken away most of the time, and one time the baby was taken out of me and then killed in front of me because it was still alive.
And then?
They would eat it.
Teresa told me that she was forced to eat her own fetus. Does that surprise you?
No.
Why not?
There's information at hand that we believe that has happened before in this country.
What Teresa had to endure is bad enough, but it's far from being an isolated case. We found strong evidence that scores of children in Britain are victims of these satanic rituals. But what is the attraction of these cults, and how are people lured into them?
In nomine Nostri Satanis Luciferi Excelsis. In the name of Satan, the ruler of the earth, the king of the world, I command the forces of darkness to bestow their infernal power upon me.
David Austin is rare among Satanists. He will actually talk about some of their ceremonies. He denies taking part in child abuse himself, but he's sure some others do.
There are people that are using the occult, are claiming to be Satanists, and that they are abusing children. We know it.
No sex with children in his cult, says David Austin, but he confirms that sex is a part of some of their ceremonies.
Some of our rites are sexually orientated, and again, we have to take into the fact that we do take, in some rites, a bisexual approach to some of our actions.
I also witnessed a 9-day-old baby being slaughtered for human sacrifice.
Audrey Harper. She spent 5 years in a satanic cult before she escaped.
Why did they kill that baby? Why sacrifice a child?
Satan likes pure sacrifice, and human sacrifice is better than animal sacrifice, so they are pleasing the master.
This is a sound that echoes down many a street in England today. It's not Satanism, but for some, it has been a stepping stone to devil worship. Witchcraft, the so-called harmless end of the occult. Nigel Bourne is the high priest, and Zeldy Bate, the high priestess. They play out their pagan rituals in gatherings they call covens.
O thou circle, be thou a meeting place of love and joy and truth, a rampart of protection for all those who stand herein. Wherefore I do bless thee, and I do consecrate thee, in the most holy and potent names.
You're a witch.
I am.
Zeldy and Nigel worship nature and the changing of the seasons.
Now is the moment of the spring equinox, when day and night are equal.
Nothing to do, they say, with Satan.
It's a common belief that witches worship Satan, but we can't worship Satan because we don't even acknowledge his existence.
Is witchcraft harmless?
No. But then no religion is harmless.
You're saying it can be harmful? It
Yes,
can be dangerous?
Of course it can. Anything that is taken to extremes can be dangerous.
We as a coven were looking for more, really, more kicks.
David Stillwell. He started off in witchcraft. He finished up in something very different.
Collectively as a group, we decided to explore Satanism.
Now, you were looking for more kicks. What did you end up doing?
Animal sacrifice. Sacrificing animals, birds and rabbits and pigeons, doves, things like that.
O thou incense, be thou a fit and sweet-smelling
Getting bored
sacrifice,
with rituals like
bringing
this
sweet odours
turned
unto the
David
nostrils
Stillwell
of
and his
gods,
coven
in
away
this
from
secret
worshipping Mother
temple of all
Nature
gods.
to worshipping the devil. He was heading towards the kind of depravity that we heard Teresa describe.
Could you look up ahead and think to yourself, well, the next sacrifice might be a child?
Yeah, it's always something that's at the back of your mind. While I was in this coven, we met people of other covens that purported to have taken part in child sacrifice.
They used to burn witches in this country, and there are moves afoot in the British Parliament to have the worst forms of witchcraft outlawed again, especially the Satanists. But that's not so easily done. Witchcraft is just another religion here, and banning it opens the whole question of freedom of religion. Meanwhile, the signs are that Satanism is spreading its evil at an alarming rate.
We've got to be aware of it. We don't know how big it is, but we've got to take it seriously.
Ray Wire, the therapist we took Teresa's story to. Her case is bad enough, he says, but in sheer numbers, not the worst.
A father had 10 children. He ritually, sexually abused them in every way possible. Those 10 children were eventually taken into care. Those 10 children became adults, and between them they had 23 children. Subsequently, the grandfather, those 10 adults and now the 23 children were all involved in ritual abuse, and grandfather and those 10 adults sexually abused those children in every way possible in a satanic way.
I wanted, I suppose, a bit of excitement, something slightly different, something that gave me an experience.
Despite the harm suffered by children like Teresa, David Austin still defends Satanism.
I don't call it dangerous. I don't say it's dangerous. Yes, it's like anything else. If you've got nitroglycerine in a hot kitchen, it's dangerous. If you start playing football with it, it's dangerous.
As the athame is to the male, so the cup is to the female.
To Nigel and Zeldy, this is a sacred ritual, a fertility rite.
Forth a blessing.
Most witches agree sex is an important part of their craft, but say it's only symbolic.
Blessed be.
Satanists also use sex in their rituals, but it goes far beyond symbolism. Take Audrey Harper's experience.
The warlock, the master, just raped me. He's the high priest of the coven.
Married to the devil, is that what it meant?
That type of thing. Yes, only, you know, there's no ceremony. But the act of unity completes my initiation ceremony. I now belong mind, body and soul to Satan.
Married to the devil, a consistent pattern it seems. Audrey when she was 22, Teresa when she was a little girl.
They used to marry the kids to Lucifer. So that we were part of him, you know, we were his.
Did that include you? Were you married to the devil?
Yeah. We used to be dressed up in a cloak, and it was just like a marriage in a church, but different words, you know.
What were you taught about Lucifer?
Just that we should, you know, be his friend, treat him as a friend. And that he's always there if we ever need him.
Why do they do such wicked things in these covens?
Because they're pleasing Satan. The lower you become, the more vile you become, the more pleased Satan is with you, and therefore the more power you'll get when you die.
And they believe this?
They believe it. They absolutely believe it.
Is this just an English disease, or should we be worried in Australia about activity such as this?
I think we must be worried in every country, including yours, and without a shadow of a doubt you'll have groups in Australia who are doing similar things.
It's almost certain that there are black covens in Australia and that there is child sacrifice going on in Australia.
Do you think there are satanic cults operating in Australia?
Yes, I think it'd be very naive of us to deny that.
Our crime intelligence officer again, Sergeant Alan Barwick.
Teresa talks of ritualistic sacrifices. Have you come across anything like this in your investigations?
Yes, we have.
What kind of sacrifices?
Animal sacrifices.
Can you tell me anything about that?
No, I can't.
Why is that?
It's a ongoing inquiry.
The problem is knowing how to recognise it, and that comes down really to parents. Parents recognising where their kids are.
But it seems to have changed, you know?
You have to wonder why no one guessed what was happening to Teresa over those 12 years at Nan's place. Not even her mother knew when Teresa came to stay with her on holidays.
I think with most people, not only myself, it's such an abhorrent, disgusting thing that I don't think we want to hear it.
So what should mothers do?
Well, they take the child aside and believe them. Believe them. It's so many times you hear about a child going from one adult to the next in an effort to get somebody to listen. I mean, in Teresa's case, the people she told joined in. And she thought I was going to too. That was a real blow. I cried for weeks over that she would look at me and think that I could do that.
What would you hope to do with your life now? What are you looking forward to doing?
Just living, being happy.
What would you like to do when you leave school?
Care for children. Handicapped ones, you know, or abused children like me, maybe.
Now, Australian police want your help to compile information on satanic cults, especially cases where children are being abused.
Any sort of information at all, anybody that has some suspicions about a cult working in their particular area, or they know of people who are involved.
If there was someone watching this program who is involved in a satanic cult and wants to get out, what would you say to that person?
Well, come forward. There are many welfare groups around that can assist, and certainly we can point those people in the right direction and certainly offer them protection if it's necessary.
In New South Wales, the police hotline number is 02 20966. That's 20966. In other states, you should contact police headquarters in your capital city.